نحمده. For that reason, we praise Him. We thank Him for all the awesome things that you guys have and I have. We thank Him for that. ونستعينه. We ask for assistance. ونستغفره. And we ask for our shortcomings to be forgiven. Clean slate, inshallah. ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. One of these days, inshallah, I promised that last time and I failed to do so. I'll translate whatever I just read in Arabic, word by word, because that will be a khutbah only, that's it. It's amazing. It's amazing things that we just said as a reminder to ourselves. So, okay, so I have a simple message today, inshallah. Simple message. I need your undivided attention for a few minutes. I promise that there's a little red light is going to come on and tells me over there, hey, stop. I'm going to stop before that red light shows up. Okay, so I need your attention, inshallah. Allah says in the Quran, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Ya ayyuhal ladina amanu, believers, ittaqullah, be mindful of Allah, be conscious of Allah, be aware of Allah, your master, all the time. Haqqa tuqatihi, the way He deserves it. Wala tamutunna, under no circumstance, don't you dare. Think about this language, strongest language, Arabic language. وَلَا تَمُوتُنَّ, don't you dare forget we just said, which is what? Being mindful of Allah in all your affairs. وَلَا تَمُوتُنَّ إِلَّا وَأَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ. And you forget this rule. The unfortunate time came, you departed this world, but you forgot this. So Allah is warning you and I of that, to be mindful of Him all the time. I was mulling over, pondering the Quran, and I came across one ayah, and I'm going to introduce one concept, and we'll discuss that inshallah. And that concept is this. Allah said to the angels that I'm going to place on this earth a Khalifa. Okay? I'm going to place on earth a Khalifa. What is Khalifa? That's the question we're going to discuss. Let me say this first. Khalifa has absolutely nothing to do, this is the first thing you got to remember, absolutely has nothing to do with the political term. Khalifa is not caliph, is not establishing a caliph or caliphate. Has nothing to do with that. What I'm going to explain to you is the Quranic term for Khalifa. So we need to understand that. What is it that Allah said? Well, Khalifa is several things. Here's the first one. Khalifa is someone who left someone behind. What does that mean? My father, may Allah bless his soul, he left me behind. He left my other siblings behind. He left his brothers and sisters behind. That's one meaning of Khalifa. The other meaning of Khalifa, remember these definitions, please. The other meaning is that he was left behind himself. He is somewhere out there on earth, under the earth, is buried. Khalifa means successor. What does that mean? That you will appoint someone to succeed you. Khalifa means that you have been left on your own devices. That means you have the full autonomy to make decisions. Khalifa means stewardship, that you can make decisions, you can run things. These are the 5 things that Khalifa means. What it doesn't mean at all is what is being used these days in political terms. So, if that's what it is, that's what Allah said, I'm going to place on earth a Khalifa. Then Allah went on and said the following, فَإِمَّا يَأْتِيَنَّكُم مِّنِّي هُدًى. Let's take one part of this ayah at a time. فإما يأتينكم مني هدى فمن تبع هدايا فلا خوف عليهم ولا يحزنون. Whenever a guidance comes from me, Allah says, whenever guidance comes on a continuous basis. So here's a little plug on trying to learn Arabic. Several ways, several times when you look at the translation, it says, whenever guidance comes from me, and whoever follows the guidance. That's what the translation says. It doesn't do any justice whatsoever to the meaning of these two verbs. Listen to this carefully again. See if you can catch it. I'll point it out to you. فَإِمَّا يَأْتِيَنَّكُمْ. Do you see the innakum sound? It is the emphatic point, the emphatic part that Allah says, indeed will come, without a doubt, guidance will come. What is guidance? The way you will run your life. At the beginning of Baqarah, Allah said, this book has given to you as a guidance. The way you will run your life. The way you will run your life as a student, as a project manager, as I say every week, as a husband, as a wife, as a son, as a brother, as a father, the way you run your life. Guidance. Allah says, special guidance. يَأْتِيَنَّكُمْ مِنِّي هُدًى. Minni hudan. Especially when the guidance comes from me, Allah says, this type of guidance comes to you. We have it here in the form of a book. فَمَنْ تَبِعَ هُدَايَ. And that's the best part. The translation, as I alluded, says, whoever follows the guidance. That doesn't really capture the essence of what it says. Let me give you a silly example. The traffic law, you have to follow as it says, to the T. If you don't, guess what happens? You're going to get a hefty ticket. The tax law, you have to abide by it the way it says. You're like, I can find a ton of loopholes. We're not talking about finding loopholes. I'm talking about the way the law is written. You have to follow it exactly the way it is. Here's the first gift of Allah to you and I. Remember last time I was here, we talked about Ar-Rahman, the incredibly merciful. His first incredible mercy is for you and I to have this level of guidance in detail. Guess what? If someone gives you instructions in details, we'll ask you to follow instructions as is, in detail. That's not what Allah is asking. And that's what the tabi'ah, the word, the verb, tabi'ah comes in play. If Allah wanted you and I, and it's the mercy, the second mercy of Allah that did not ask you and I to follow it exactly what He's asking you, that what would have been? Ittabi'. Do you hear the ittabi'? You don't hear it. فَمَنْ تَبِعَ هُدَايَ. Allah did not say فَمَنْ ittabi' هُدَايَ, which would have put so much restrictions on you and I. For that, you say Alhamdulillah. For that, you show humbleness to Allah, saying Subhanallah. I don't have to be that accountable. That doesn't mean you're off the hook. That means Allah saying, whoever received this guidance and tried his best and tried her best to follow, to show progress, something I talk about all the time. Show progress. That means you have to know where you are today. You have to know your current state, where you are and where you want to go. And you have to have a goal where you want to go. That's what Allah is asking you. That's Allah asking you and I. Do your best to follow the guidance that has been given to you. You can ask me, okay, so what am I going to get out of that? Allah already responded to that. He already said what you're going to get. You're going to get two things. فَلَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ. You will have absolutely no fear. No fear. What do you think fear is? Fear is a manifestation of what something resides in the heart, right? Fear of not being successful, fear of not passing, fear of not getting the girl you wanted, fear of not getting promotion, fear of all kinds of fear that you have. It's going to be in your heart. Guess where the guidance strikes? And that is the fundamental aspect of Quran, the very reason of Quran for you and I, to read it, ponder upon it. That will give you intellectual ability. Then the more you ponder upon it, the more it's going to come to your heart. And that's what Allah says the essence of this whole thing is. It will strike in your heart and will get rid of the sadness. Get rid of the fear. فَلَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ. The second thing is يَحْزَنُونَ, sadness. The both manifestation of what is in the heart, the cure is that. Allah is giving you and I the root cause, the solution for what the sadness is and what fear is. Whenever we have fear, then the more you dwell on that, guess what happens? It turns to a sadness. The whole point is Allah is saying, show progress. On this guidance that has come to you, take it, ponder upon it. It will cure the two fundamental diseases that we have. That is the gift you and I have, my dear brothers and sisters. That is what Allah has given you and I. Our job is exactly what Allah is asking. Ponder upon these ayat. Ponder upon what Allah has given you. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that to give you and I the ability to make time out of our busy schedule so that we would be able to have some sense of understanding of what Allah has given to you and I. أقول قولي أستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. إن الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Well, I promised to you, right? I give you short and sweet. That's what it is. We don't need to sit here and talk about long, drawn concepts. Short and sweet. Allah says in the Quran, please turn off all your phones. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. One of the areas of the Quran that is absolutely beloved to me is the last few words in the Surah Al-Baqarah. And I love that dua, so let's make that dua. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين آمين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. And the way we end khutbah every Friday is the recipe for success, and that comes directly from the Quran as well, in Surah number 16, ayah number 90, I believe. إن الله يأمر إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى. What did I just say? Allah is commanding you and I to be just in adl wal ihsan and show progress and do your best. Every single thing that you do, do your best. Don't be satisfied with status quo. And where do you start? And I say the same thing every time that I'm standing here. You might get tired of it. I don't get tired of it. And you could ask, I got it. Where do I start? وَإِيتَاءِ ذِي الْقُرْبَى. Allah says, start with your family. Start with your family. Understand how we treat them. Start with your family to make yourself better. And what kills justice, وَيَنْهَى عَنِ الْفَحْشَاءِ. And Allah says, under no circumstance come near al-fahsha. Fahsha is all kinds of shamelessness. All types of shamelessness. Don't come near it. Wal munkar. Munkar is the one that I just alluded at the beginning of the khutbah. Don't ever try to find loopholes so you could find a reason for yourself to do something that Allah says it is not okay to do. and oppression. Well, baghi, oppression. Oppression is a huge topic. Oppressing yourself, oppressing your thoughts, oppressing anyone around you, anything with you, oppressing the earth that you live on. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَذَكَّرُونَ, that I have said it, you have heard it. وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah, ashhadu anna